Wow, what a domination by the Dallas Cowboys. And it shows that last week was a fluke. And I wish I had the ability to do the pregame for this game because I was going to get to the fact where I felt that the Broncos game was just a snap back to reality type of game where it's like, hey, listen, you can't be screwing up. And the Broncos proceeded to lose to Philadelphia this week, which is pretty funny, but that's besides the point. Point being, Dallas decimating the Atlanta Falcons with a 40-point win. Yes, not that the Cowboys put up 40 points, but the fact that they led by 40 to end this game is, whoo boy, that is one hell of a way to end this thing. So, to put things into perspective, the Dallas Cowboys with this victory and a couple things happening in the NFC, they are now the third seed now in play for the number one overall seed. And with that being said is that everybody in the NFC has 2 losses at this point. And I think that with where Dallas is at and how their schedule looks, they are definitely down the stretch. They have the ability to get that 1 seed. I always say, look, and I'm going to say it always, and I'm going to make sure I hammer this point. Win your games and the things will fall into place. And that's what I think is happening here. I think that the Dallas Cowboys getting another NFC win, moving up a spot and trying to stay out of that 4th spot so that they don't have to face whoever comes out of the NFC West. Great job. But we can't let up. We have a massive game coming up on Sunday against the Chiefs, and then we have to turn around and go home and play the Raiders. And I think what's going to happen is, just for your heads up, I'm going to mix, I'm probably going to end up doing like a live talking about both because I don't know if I'll have the time to, so just as a prelude to that. But getting back to this game, so the Cowboys in the Broncos game, everything went wrong. This game, everything went right. The Cowboys opening drive touchdown, fantastic. The 4th down conversions, awesome. The defense was electric. Special teams did their thing. Everybody did what they had to do. The only error, I would say, was Zeke's fumble, but it was at a point in the game, and, Connor Williams, but again, it was at a point where I really didn't care. But it was still something to bring up. The Falcons' best drive of the game was their opening drive when they put up 3 points, and that was it. That was it. The whole game, that was their best drive, because... And this goes to show you like how important it is to get into a rhythm. After the Falcons went for it on that 4th and 7 and they didn't get it, Dallas just did not look back at all. Dak Prescott looked like the MVP candidate that he's been looking like all year. Cooper Rush stepped in for the entire 4th quarter. We really didn't do a whole lot, so that's besides the point. Zeke with 2 very strong touchdowns on the goal line. That was extremely important. Now, I did want to add that CeeDee Lamb, holy mackerel, like this guy, I'm so glad that he's on my team, because with him and Dak, the connection that, not just with him, with all the receivers is great. Dak probably made the best throw of his career, one of the best, you could say, when the blitz was coming and he just threw it up to Lamb and he got it, and it was just perfectly placed. You couldn't place it any better. And I think that shows how much Dak has matured as a passer to the point to where he can make these types of throws. And, and for him to get that final touchdown, I think really put the emphasis on this game, especially when it was a 4th down call. And I think that goes to show you that how well this team does. I mean, the kicker we had did not miss a single extra point, and that's great. I think what made me laugh the most was when we scored a touchdown on the blocked kick, and we ended up going for 2, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we went for 2, and we got it. I was like, oh boy. But just huge shout-outs to the offense. Terrence Steele and La'el Collins, you guys played great for what you had to go up against, and I'm not saying that they went up against anybody important, but they played well. And that's what's important, especially down this stretch. We should be getting DeMarcus Lawrence soon, hopefully. I'm hoping that Randy Gregory will be healthy by the play. And this is a key thing. Everybody stepped up. Dorrance Armstrong did great. I think I saw something where he's the first Dallas Cowboy to ever have a blocked punt and a sack in a game, and he's the first NFL player since Terrell Basham to have a blocked punt and sack in a game. Wow. And I want to also add to this because this is something that I didn't realize either. The Dallas Cowboys this season have 3 blocked punts. That is 3 times more than what they have done in the entire Jason Garrett era, and that game was in 2015 versus the Eagles. And all I could say is just wow. I mean, like, this has been one hell of a ride to be on, and I don't want to get us don't look at the end. Look at, let's enjoy this journey, because the way I look at it is that Dallas is now 5 wins away from clinching the East, assuming that everybody else wins. But do I think everybody's going to win outright? No. But I think that Dallas is in a prime position to clinch this thing early. And I think that if you're a Cowboys fan, rooting for the other teams isn't a problem. Because, and I'll tell you, like, for me, to see Tampa Bay lose was great. I hate Washington, but they were 2-6, so I really didn't give a damn. But the fact is that, look, we need to start looking at playoff seeding, and it's not, and I don't want people to be like, oh, the Space Cowboy, you're getting too far ahead of yourself. Well, no, because this is, you look at the Packers, they're looking at home field advantage. You look at Arizona, they have the deal. It's not like we're in a division like the West where you got a team that's right behind you. That race, reminds me a lot of the 2014 playoff race between the Cowboys and the Eagles, where both teams are super, super good, but they had their moments. Now, the Rams, I believe, because today is Monday, I believe they play tonight versus San Francisco, so here's hoping that the Rams lose. But, and I don't know until when this video gets posted. But yeah, Dallas currently holds that 3 seed. We would play the Saints if the playoffs were to end today. But now that we're past the halfway point, which sucks, man. I love football, and it sucks that we're now at the halfway point for the regular season, that is. And we now have, I believe at this point, going on next week, I think we have 3 games in 12 days. Is that right? I think it's 3 games in 12 days. Yeah, something like that. So it will be the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Saints, I think. So those are going to be massive games for the Cowboys, because that will be a huge telling point for where the season is going to go. Now, I did predict, with these next stretch of 4 games, I did predict Dallas to go 3-1 because I felt like they were going to drop one of these games. Which one they're going to drop, I don't know. But I think that if they were going to drop a game, it would most likely be the Chiefs or Raiders. So if you're sitting here and you're saying to yourself, well, if we're going to lose the game in the stretch, you got to hope that it's going to be one of those two, if worst case scenario. And that's because, you don't want to deal more NFC losses, especially with the fact that we're going on the road. Then we play at home versus the Raiders, I believe. And then it gets very murky after that. I think then we go on a massive road trip. We go to the Saints. I think we go to Washington, and then we go to New York. So there's a realistic possibility that, and I thought that we would be able to clinch the division by Thanksgiving, as Thanksgiving's coming up. I don't think that's going to be the case, because you're having some of these teams start to win. Philly, I think, has won 2 in a row now. But let's just realize where we're at right now and just enjoy it. I think that the Cowboys are back to their winning ways. This game upcoming is a huge one. I mean, and as the season goes along and looking back at how the Cowboys did early on in the season, I think that the wins that they've had are very impressive. And the only bad loss they've had, it was versus Denver, but they didn't have a loss as bad as some of these other teams. Like Tampa Bay, for example. So if you're Dallas, you got to keep chugging along. And I think that now is where you need to keep winning games, because you cannot afford to slip up in this playoff race. I think Dallas is a for sure shoo-in for the NFC East. There is a remote possibility that the Eagles could make the playoffs, because the Saints are, what's the word I'm looking for? The Saints are in that realm of, because they lost Jameis Winston, they're not that good. But I think for us, we need to just keep winning. So let's go ahead. Let's just focus in on this Chiefs game. I'll try to get a pregame video up sometime this week. Got a lot going on, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. Bye-bye.